Okay, Miss Cav, here we go with my oral commentary. Araby, as the third story within the Dubliners, is about a young boy who is infatuated with his best friend's sister, the girl next door. The young boy is unnamed, but the entire story is from his perspective. The narrator's infatuation is so intense that he can't even speak with the girl who is Megan's sister and expresses his feelings. One day she asks him if he's going to Araby, which is like a town bazaar that has come for a period of time. Her reference to the festival, which she mentions she is not attending, sets in his mind that he must go and bring her back something. The rest of his time is spent anxiously waiting until the evening that he can go to Araby. Yet when he finally gets there, everything is closed and shut down, and he leaves disappointed with nothing to give the girl his obsession. In a more formal presentation style, here's an introduction to the explicative passage. A mystical, exciting, unheard of event, Araby, a traveling roadshow. In contrast to the paralysis felt by the rest of Dublin, the main character of this short story felt anxious and jittery to attend this bazaar. The show that presented a new affair to the people of Dublin brought along with it passion, excitement, and disappointment. Seen in this short story are multiple examples of imagery, intense diction, and use of vivid tone. Through Joyce's use of these literary devices, the reader is better able to understand the obsessive feelings of the young boy and the impact of Dublin's moral paralysis upon him. Obsession is defined as the domination of one's thoughts or feelings by a persistent image, idea, or desire. Obsession is the overarching theme that I pulled out of this passage as it is so strongly felt by the main character. Within each and every paragraph, there are examples found of obsession from specific words to entire phrases. We're only going to do one from almost each paragraph. Araby is representative of something new coming to Dublin. The travelers of this bazaar are an army of gypsies who travel all over the world selling odd-end belongings that one could not find every day. The appeal of this festival was so strong to the boy, but only once it was mentioned by the sister. When he saw that she was interested, he became interested. He wanted to do something that would win her praise or win her approval. He was so obsessed with going that he spent the entire day longing and waiting for Saturday night to come, anticipating with agony to get there, solely to show her he was thinking of her. From paragraph 1, the first example of obsession that I chose. I did not know whether I would ever speak to her or not, or if I spoke to her, how I could tell her of my confused adoration. To me, this statement represents the entire theme of the first paragraph. It summarizes the childish feelings that the boy has for this girl and that he has never even spoken to her, yet he feels so connected to her and like he knows so much about her. The words confused adoration are truthfully symbolic of his feelings in that he's perplexed and bewildered by them, that this girl can give him these new feelings, who is older than him and who he's never even spoke to. His obsession with her is at its highest at this statement, in that he's overanalyzed the simple task of just talking to her, not what does she want for her birthday or where should we go on a date. It shows his innocence and his inexperience with anyone of the opposite sex. In paragraph 2, the one we'll discuss is, one evening I went back to the drawing room in which the priest had died. The statement is odd. Why would he go back there alone? The first sentence presents a total scene for paragraph 2, which is dark and dreary. Aside from the whole topic of the priest and the young boy's very close relationship, this section shows how distraught the boy was over the girl and his feelings for her. He went to this old, dark, creepy place where a great companion of his had died just to look for some type of relief or way to talk about his feelings. But of course he found none since the priest was dead and religion was so complicated anyway, especially to children. His obsession had gone so far that he showed no fear of going into this weird place that most children, including myself, would have, because he was searching so hard to be consoled about his feelings and needed someone to talk to. The second one from paragraph 3, all my senses seemed to desire to veil themselves, and the feeling that I was about to slip from them, I pressed the palms of my hands together until they trembled, murmuring, "Oh love, oh love." This is paragraph 2. This quote shows the desperation with which the boy needed consolation about his feelings. He truthfully had no one to talk to. His aunt and uncle seemed completely out of the picture, and his best friend just happened to be the brother of the girl he was obsessed with. He ran to a sanctuary to try and calm himself and about his nervousness concerning these new feelings that he was experiencing. His obsession was so strong that it was starting to take over all of his thoughts, and he felt that he had nowhere to turn but to religion, but the priest had died, literally leaving him with no one. From paragraph 3, the quote, "At last she spoke to me." This six-word statement and its abruptness shows a drastic change in the relationship between the boy and girl. Its brusque diction shows the shock to the boy and the ending of his childish stalking now that they finally spoke, and now the options are completely open for either more talking or rejection. The shortness of the statement tells the reader the anxious tension that the boy feels simply that the girl talked to him after his constant obsession over what to say if they ever did talk. From paragraph 4. While she spoke, she turned a silver bracelet round and round her wrist. When one bumbles around, shuffles feet, or messes with something on them, it usually shows a sign of nervousness. Her turning of the bracelet paints a picture to me of a girl trying not to seem too into a conversation or to seem too interested in something, so she tries to distract herself or take away from her nervousness by playing with her jewelry. Obsession is seen here in that her bracelet turns round and around and around like the never-ending cycle that the boy feels how she spins round and around all through his head all day. From paragraph 5, we find the quote, "I had hardly any patience with the serious work of life, which, now it stood between me and my desire, seemed to me child's play, ugly, monotonous child's play." This quote really is in contrast with the beginning of the book, in that there he was reminiscing about the good old days in which he was able to play with his friends and use his time that way. His obsession has become so strong with her, with other more adult things, that he feels grown up himself and that he is above playing with other kids. Now that he has experienced something none of his other friends have, he's better than them because his obsession is taken over. This also shows how obsessed with going to the show he is, and that he's anticipating it so greatly that everyday life seems unimportant. All that matters is going to Araby and getting a prize. The word Araby were called to me through the silence in which my soul luxuriated and cast an eastern enchantment over me. This quote describes the boy's feelings about going to the festival, and it makes me personally question, was it the lure of the festival that was enchanting, or was it the girl that showed the slight interest that pulled him so strongly toward it? The second word of the quote, syllables, implies obsession in detail to every part of the word, every detail in the meaning of the word. So 3 syllables of Araby represent to me the 3 aspects of this boy's obsession: his longing for the sister, his desire to get her approval by bringing her gifts, and his obsession with going to the bazaar in general. Araby is the first short story in which we start to see the young boy begin to lose his innocence and focus on not only the opposite sex, but things bigger than playing games with other kids. He experiences love, which is the beginning force that pushes him towards growing up and leaving childhood behind. This story is in first person and is also the last story which is told this way. The boy is really stuck between growing up and doing his own thing and staying a child because he doesn't completely know how to go about growing up and getting the things that he wants. Just like all children of his age, often called teenagers, he is obsessed with growing up and being able to live the life he wants and escape the life of an innocent child. In conclusion, in every society, there are trials of love, sorrow, disappointment, and excitement at all ages. Displays of these emotions are not often seen in Dublin. The suppressed people often push down their emotions with their fears of society's pull upon them. In a place where feelings are not shown, this young boy found love and became obsessed with enhancing it to feel something new in such a stagnant place as Dublin. Through use of theme of obsession, Joyce does a nice job of conveying the feelings of the boy to the reader.